Let's go to Wellington, where the wheels fell off at a launch for new electric buses for the capital's network after the Environment Minister publicly called out the Regional Council over its treatment of bus drivers. 32 services were cancelled this morning after several drivers failed to turn up a week ahead of the new contract kicking in. 106 people are being made redundant as a result of that new contract. How's this all come together? Well, our political editor, Jane Patterson, is going to explain.
An appropriate song.
Those present were there to celebrate the introduction of 10 purely electric buses, the first of 32 to be in place by 2021. But there are already rumbles of discontent around the city about some of the new routes and higher fares. The host from the public transport network Metlink told those present it marks a new phase for the capital city.
We like earth-friendly public transport in this region, and we can't do it without the support of our staff, our operators and, more importantly, our customers. After all, when you run a public transport service, you have to take people with you.
But in an unexpected turn of events, the Minister and guest speaker David Parker brought up the way Wellington's bus drivers had been treated in the contract renewal process.
There have been controversies around the way in which this was tendered, and there are some people still feeling aggrieved that they feel that they lost in the process and that terms and conditions were eroded.
He said the government was specifically changing the law to avoid these kinds of practices.
In the hope that when these sorts of things are tendered in the future, that the competition is on the basis of the service and the types of technology that are being deployed, and we want to prevent a race to the bottom.
In response, the chairperson of the Regional Council, Chris Laidlaw, said it was a very complicated situation.
I wish there had been a simpler formula for it. The PTOM legislation is flawed in many respects. It is, and the government is going to rewrite it, and I really welcome that. Part of the difficulty is that guaranteeing terms and conditions carry over is awfully difficult, because whose terms and conditions are you talking about? There's a huge array of different terms and different conditions.
But he has a blunt message for the drivers who did not turn up today.
It is unacceptable, and there are penalties for that. They are contracted to provide those services.
NZ Bus says driver availability was the main reason for the cancellations, as drivers were finishing up their contracts and using up their leave entitlements. The full rollout of the new system across the Wairarapa, Hutt Valley and Wellington City will be complete by Friday next week. There'll be a 3% overall hike in standard fares on trains and buses, alongside a range of discounts for off-peak travel and fares for children, people with disabilities and tertiary students. From Parliament for Checkpoint, Jane Patterson.